How do moms lose in family court to a narcissist? Hi, I'm author Grace Wroldson, the author of several books, including Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self-Rules to Stay Sane. If you're ready to learn, I am ready to teach. What's it like to lose in family court to a narcissist? How does this happen? Why is this happening? Imagine being in my shoes and losing custody of your only child to a narcissistic, sociopathic ex. No, don't, because that's pure hell on earth. My survival story. This is my survival story of the incompetent, inadequate, and uneducated U.S. family court system against a wealthy narcissist. He was, and still is, an angry, resentful, bitter, revengeful, toxic, verbally abusive ex who would stop at nothing to hurt me because I wounded his broken ego by leaving him. In my custody case, it was appalling that the judge sided with him, granting him sole legal rights and 50% physical custody after him only having limited supervised visitation for years. Because he often declined extra parenting time with our daughter and refused to follow court orders for various reasons and lame excuses. The narcissist's overinflated sense of entitlement saw very few boundaries and rules that applied to him. The family court and the judge, including the hired, paid-for, paid-off GAL that we had in our case, made a mistake. This caused me and our child more stress, led to more problems, and wasn't in the best interest of our child. It took more than a decade of numerous problems, including contempts, for them to all realize this. Thankfully, I staged a comeback, like I tell in my first book, Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self-Rules to Stay Sane, and then went on to practice what I call skillful means to create peace and some type of cooperation. My hope is to be a light for other moms in the darkness of this dilemma. Essentially, I was sabotaged. That's what happened to me for over a decade co-parenting or trying to co-parent with a narcissist. I was undermined as a parent by the narcissist and made out to look crazy. I was falsely accused of so many things that it emotionally destabilized me because at that time I didn't know how to handle false allegations and what I call co-parenting abuse, which is really post-separation abuse. Sadly, mothers like me are still losing custody and rights to their own children to controlling, arrogant, angry men. Basically, I was out-lawyered in family court. I learned from this mistake, though, and then I went on to do what it took to win things back, one at a time. You can read my free blog on my website, Steps to Win Against a Narcissist in Family Court. After ending my relationship with my child's father, I found myself attempting the impossible, co-parenting with a narcissistic ex. I was a loving, caring, concerned mother, but I was constantly criticized, attacked, blamed, discredited, smeared, and pretty devastated by my ex. While in my care, our child was thriving and healthy, and I worked overtime to protect her from the narcissist's subtle abuse and neglect. I had to parallel parent at first and practice so much of the gray rock method just to survive. This wasn't until I learned techniques to de-escalate anger, diffuse blame, and neutralize hostility in our interactions. I didn't do this alone, though. I got help, lots of support from the experts, which included a domestic violence counselor who understood things like gaslighting, coercive control, scare tactics, and narcissistic abuse. You can read all about what tools I had to hang on to in my first book, Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self-Rules to Stay Sane, on Amazon. The narcissist wouldn't stop for years. When the narcissist failed to control me, he instead sought to use legal means and the court system to take sole possession of our child. I think it was to get off of paying child support. It very much felt like it was his way of punishing me personally. I say that because he showed very little interest in our child for the first 8 years of her life, failing to cover her health insurance or show up for her graduation ceremonies and other important events. He did the bare minimum as a quote-unquote dad. Instead of being a participatory parent, he threw every narcissistic trick in the book at me, trying to destroy me beyond what every professional involved had ever seen. In a cruel twist, he projected all his awful behavior onto me, ultimately winning sole legal custody of our child and 50% unsupervised physical custody in 2020, right when the COVID pandemic had hit. From that defeat, I had to shift gears into survival mode. The family court was his biggest abuse tactic ever. I have lived to tell this awful tale and now go on to share my survivor wisdom, helping moms avoid my mistakes and the narcissist's typical traps. You can read another blog called How Family Court Fails Us. I wouldn't stop either, though. I would not give up on my child. Through many hours of reflection, meditation, therapy, coaching, counseling, I laid out my priorities. I would do my best to stay healthy and sane in the midst of insanity. Get expert support, validate my reality, and use protection agencies to the fullest extent. To repair my life, I identified 7 guiding principles that I call self-rules. I told myself that I had to live for her, even after losing my rights to her. I stepped up and stepped into my resilience rather than my anger and rage. This made all the difference. Immediately, I decided to write my story down to warn other moms battling it out in family court with a toxic ex. I write in a pen name. Looking back, there were many things that I could have done differently. There were strategies I could have employed. There were other lawyers I could have consulted with, and I could have took out a personal loan to hire them. The mistakes that I made had to be admitted and addressed. What's good about me and other moms that I work with now is that we can learn. With knowledge, we have more power. My first book is designed as a survival guide for overcoming the seemingly impossible parenting dilemma of co-parenting with a non-cooperative, boundary-crossing, rule-breaking narcissist. I share my powerful insights and firsthand experience with my readers. My hope is that just one struggling mother will find validation and encouragement on their journey to become the best person and parent they can be, and know that they're not alone. How did I turn my case around? This wasn't a case of me being a bad mom. This was a case of me being outlawyered. A journal entry. Number 1, journaled. I inventoried what my main reasons for losing my family court case were and looked directly at my weaknesses. You can watch my video, Common Mistakes Moms Make, Co-Parenting with a Narcissist. Number 2, I healed. I did some specific healing, recovery programs, and intended support groups. I was then able to find the strength to stand up to him legally with a new lawyer, while simultaneously appeasing him to see my daughter more. You'll learn more about that in my Skillful Means, which is in another book that I just released. By going through the court process, rather than directly catering and capitulating to the narcissist, I was able to win some important protections in court by saying no to his proposed unfair agreements. I was brave and opted for a lengthy, unbalanced trial, knowing I didn't have the legal power he did at the time. However, a court order helped me hold him more accountable then and later, and so did a better attorney. Today, our child, is thriving, and I have survived 10 years of financial and legal abuse. What matters most to me is that today she's happy, healthy, and well supported. Even more so, I am. I came out smarter and stronger than before, and I believe you can too. How I can help. My mission is to help suffering mothers and children stay safe from any type of toxic, narcissistic, alcoholic, sociopathic ex by using common sense, logic, knowledge, and support. My role is to be an emotional support person and encourage them through sharing in my story and books, offering strategy support, coaching sessions by phone to the many devastated mothers. By sharing my heartbreaking yet inspiring and hopeful true story, you can know that you're not alone. I believe that one stable parent, one sane parent, can make a world of difference to a child, even if they don't see them that often. What happened to me in 2020 was a complete injustice, but I'm not the only one. I have since learned that other mothers have had the same, if not worse, done to them. This scenario that the enabled narcissist often sets up, abuse by proxy, using family court to abuse mothers, has been a real problem in the legal system. What's worse is that money and unethical legal practices are winning custody cases and professionals are losing focus on child safety first. So defendants and mothers beware. In my case, I had to learn how to fight with who, where, and when, even though I dearly wanted peace. Peace came after I changed, turned the tables, healed from narcissistic abuse, and grew a titanium backbone with an unbroken spirit. You can read How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win, Super Smart Strategies for Success. That's book number 2, available on Amazon. What can you do? There are things that you can be doing and not doing in your custody case, I'm sure. For example, if applicable, you can safeguard against things. You can implement protective measures and boundaries. You can be 2 steps ahead of the monster and learn to sidestep his drama and abuse. You can seek out expert support and not listen to well-meaning friends and family for legal advice who don't understand the complexity. I was able to endure, persevere, and be resilient. My child benefits from the strength I found, the support I received, and the education I attained for myself. I encourage all mothers in these terrible situations to start a self-study course of their own. Learn what they are up against. Learn what tips, tools, and strategies to use to prevent bad outcomes. The internet is full of stories, free info, video trainings on this subject. All this gathered information can come in handy as a narcissist changes tactics and starts to do some other things. So I encourage you to learn from my story, heal, grow, and come out stronger than before. If you're ready to learn, I am ready to teach. This is my newest book, has my How to Get the Right Lawyer guide when dealing with a narcissist. I'm here to help. If you want to stop losing, stop stressing, start strategizing, and learn to navigate. And the key here is learning to navigate the family court system. You learn to navigate the narcissist, and you learn to navigate your fears. Did you know the narcissist has tricks, tactics, manipulations, but we have strategies, skills, and self-rules that we can apply to this to neutralize those threats, to not step into any traps? If you're ready to learn, I'm ready to teach. This is my Navigate the Narcissist Co-Parenting video course. It's 11 videos. Watch at your own pace. You could do 2 a week, and in 6 weeks, really transform your mindset. You can get the link below in this video. I'm here to help, and I'm grateful if you're a mom member of one of my private groups. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're learning all that you can. Go ahead and join us if you're not part of one of our groups. You can find that on my website. So November is Family Court Awareness Month, and I like to raise awareness about family court failures. But I also had some failures as a mom. I wasn't healed at the time, and I overreacted because I feared things for my child's life and safety in the care of an irresponsible narcissist. And what I didn't have was support people or experts who knew how to navigate the narcissist. I got well-meaning advice that often didn't work on this type of personality disordered individual. So I had to seek out the experts, and I encourage moms to get an education on narcissists because that knowledge is power. When I learned to label the tactic of the narcissist, it's lost some of its power to control me because I was confused. Then I could respond versus react. What a difference this made in my life. Knowing the name of the manipulation was a great help. You can buy this Navigate course below. I write many books. I write for moms forced to co-parent with narcissists so they don't have to feel so alone, can be validated in what they're experiencing, and improve their co-parenting conditions. I include all my tips, tools, and strategies for moms to hold on to in my books. There are mindsets to potentially adopt and perspectives that you could take to really help with this dilemma and custody situation. Learn all that you can and be prepared with what I call survivor wisdom. The first book is Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self-Rules to Stay Sane. My second book is How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win. My third book is Co-Parenting with a Sociopath, Survival and Sanity Guide. And my fourth book is How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist when the family courts force you to co-parent. These are available at Amazon, and I encourage you to read them in order. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and get more helpful tools and tips from me as an author on the front lines of family court.